It's August the 4th. Michael Vaughan with Lee Barker, CEO of Sparton Resources. And Lee, today you've announced a $500,000 financing. Give me the details.
Well, Mike, we completed last week a private placement financing with a group of individual investors with just over $500,000 total. As a matter of fact, $533,000. And we'll use that money for exploration at the Oaks project in Ontario, near Matachewan, as well as some corporate usage, because the private placement was done as a combination of flow-through financing and hard dollars, as we call them.
Now, you call it the Oaks project, but of course it's more than that now. I mean, Oaks had the 3 leases, the mine he left behind when he left Canada, but you've got about 1,500 acres around it, unexplored.
That's correct, Mike. We've staked and acquired another 42 claims around those leases. And very interesting, because there is a little bit of data available for them, but most of the area is relatively unexplored. And we know that basically because of the Oak situation, there's some potential on those. And we plan on covering the entire property package with a general exploration program, as well as doing detailed work around the old Oak shaft itself.
Now, the other part of the news today was you've got a real mining veteran joining you at Sparton.
Yes, that's correct. Tom Obranovich has joined us on our advisory board. Tom has been in the mining business for well over 40 years. He's a seasoned veteran, has done very many large corporate deals, as well as being a very good explorationist himself. And we're very happy to have Tom on board. Tom was the individual who actually consolidated the property holdings around the young Davidson mine, and then dealt them to Northgate, who did the first development work there, subsequently taken over by Arico and now by Alamos.
Well, that's a vote of confidence. Did he put his money in the deal too?
That's a good question. I think I'll let Tom tell you that when you meet him.
Okay, now just 3 kilometers up the road from this property, of course, is the young Davidson mine that you referred to. Now, that would be a likely partner.
Well, I mean, certainly they're an operating mine. They're producing about 200,000 ounces of gold per year, just expanded the operation to 8,000 tons a day underground.
Have they shown any interest in what you're doing?
Yes, definitely. Last Thursday we hosted a visit to the Oaks shaft site by the chief geologist, Dr. Hosha from Young Davidson, and he taught us a lot about the mineralization at Young Davidson. He liked what he saw, took a lot of samples around the site, and we'll have them analyzed at the mine. And so it was very beneficial for us to learn from him, and he seemed quite excited with what he'd seen.
Now, this sounds familiar to what you did in Quebec at Bruell, where you explored this territory, and Dorado Mine is up the road from that, and of course they moved in a big way.
Well, that's correct, and we seem to be a little bit looking at some serendipity here, because we have the west end of the Kirkland Larder Lake Val-d'Or Gold Belt covered with the Oaks project, and we have the eastern end covered with the Bruell project, Bruell being close to the Lamaque mine of Eldorado's, and the Oaks project being very close to the Young Davidson of Alamos.
Okay, Eldorado is doing development work on that site this summer, and Sparton is paying 0.
That's correct. Eldorado just completed a detailed magnetic survey about 2-3 weeks ago. They've begun a till sampling survey on the anomalies they've located, and they've had their staff on the site, and they're going to be doing a mapping and prospecting program prior to drilling. That's supposed to begin in the next week or so.
Well, if we get serious about this, that's $4 million for Sparton plus a royalty.
Well, that's true. Actually, $4.5 million. We could end up with a participating interest as well.
All right. Now, the news we haven't covered is VRB, the Vanadium Battery company, which Sparton owns a chunk of in China. They keep saying they're going to make a sale, but I never see an announcement.
Well, as you know, they did do a small sale about 6 weeks ago.
Demonstration.
Yes, to a large steel company, and of course that steel company is evaluating larger units. But my understanding is they've actually almost completed negotiating the sale of a much larger system to a local company in the same area where the steel company is located, and it would be a private company instead of the steel company. But if they sold this much larger system, it could be a real feather in their hat. And we believe now, because the price of vanadium being lower, their batteries are becoming much more competitive. Obviously, COVID-19 has slowed down all these business transactions around the world for everything, but it looks like vanadium batteries times are coming now.
do hope so. 3 interesting stories for Spartan this summer. Lee, thanks for your time. See you again.
Look forward to the next update, Mike. Thank you.